Gali Sarish on behalf of BSE IPF. We are doing series of videos on union budget. In this particular topic, where we are going to cover expenditure of Government of India. So earlier we have seen briefly on the expenditure front. Here we would see where exactly government is spending its amount which they have received in the form of receipts, as well as the amount which where they are borrowing for covering the physical deficit. So in this particular section we are seeing section A covers expenditure, primarily focusing on central government. So which are the plans where the central government has planned to spend, those kind of expenditures are being covered under A. Under B, they are transferring some amount on various expenditures. We would look into all the things in detail. When I am talking about established expenditure, these are expenditures or expenses related to administrative kind of expenses, and basically to run a government they need people, then they had to pay salaries, they have to be paid the office expenses, all those things do come under established expenditure. So you can see there is a slight dip in the expenditure compared to the estimated value. It's not a huge dip because these things, whether you do or not, these are kind of fixed expenditures, they cannot revise. But we have seen few of the government employees salary was reduced by 20-25% or 30% also, so that reduction can be seen under this. But in 2021-22 they have revised that, and the slight increase would be there in this particular expenditure. So central government schemes as well as projects, see there is a huge increase from 8 lakhs to 12 lakhs. The number has increased almost 50%. So the expenditure on long term investments have increased, or capital expenditure has been increased under this section. Under section 3, other central government expenditures, they have shown there is a slight difference, out of which you pay attention on this particular number. When we are talking about expenditure, look at the number, look at the value of interest payment. So whatever amount central government is borrowing, whether it is internal system or whether it is external debt, so for the borrowed money government is paying 7 lakhs crore. This is a huge number. So for an efficient government, first of all they shouldn't be having any kind of deficit. If they are having deficit, then they should not be paying such huge amount as interest. So the efficiency of the government is questioned. But for this particular reason, let us see what are the different ways, and this is a huge dent to the finances of any budget. So they are trying to reduce, and they have estimated it would be less, but just have a look at the number. They have estimated 7 lakhs and it has just reduced to 6 lakhs 92, but the number would increase for next financial estimate numbers, because this year they have borrowed more than the previous years. For that reason the interest payment would increase, and the amount would be reflected in next year budget. So the point is that we have to understand, when a government is borrowing money, they have to pay interest as well as principal. But here understand, this is only the interest payment, the amount is not being calculated at all. The amount which the government is borrowed, the repayment of the debt is not at all reflected at this point of time. So this is an important point we should understand. The next point is transfer. Centrally sponsored schemes. So the amount has to be transferred to various fronts to implement those schemes. Finance commission grant, so grant to the state governments, loan transfer to respective organizations or respective states, the amount has to be transferred to them. So those are expenditures, and basically when we are talking about transfer, these are primarily for basically development of the organization, development of economy, development schemes to be precise. So this is very essential and this is very useful for the economy also. Here the capital expenditure front, we are looking at this number, gross budgetary support. So what is this number actually? What is this gross budgetary support? So there is a 5-year plan for government. So every year they plan to spend this much amount on various on this number GBS. So maybe the amount is being utilized for the development of the agriculture, maybe development of the irrigation, development of various schemes, centralized schemes which they do come across every now and then. So the percentage is pre-planned and it's like a 5-year plan. So if government starts this plan, so for the next 5 years whatever amount they have assumed or thought of, the amount would be spent under this gross budgetary support. So there is a slight increase in the estimated value from 4,12,000, it has increased to 4,39,000, and for the next budget estimates it is increased to 5,54,000. Here for Ministry of Railways, they have set aside from 9 lakhs to 13 lakhs. Definitely for the development cost only the amount has been increased, it is good. And then comes IEBR, it is nothing but internal and extra budgetary resources. So this is nothing but basically resources raised by PSU through profits and equities. So in what way they can increase the extra sources of income. So for that reason they utilize under IEBR, and this is excluding Ministry of Railways. So in this manner central government spends their money. For most of the expenses are bifurcated, and we have seen either in the capital expenditure or in revenue expenditure, but most of the time they don't compromise on spending money on capital expenditure or for the growth of the economy or for development processes. So hopefully you have understand in what way government is spending money, our money, for the development of our country. So the next video we would try to cover other concepts related to union budget. Thank you very much.